The models in there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a big ass feet. Clumsy.
Oh mate, you are so clumsy. It's terror. It's so anxiety inducing. Fucking hell, man.
Warbosses of the ApORKalypse! Ladies and gentlemen, the Warbosses of the ApORKalypse.
Hey guys, welcome to the Warboss Show with myself, 6 plus Stevo.
Himself. And myself, 6 plus Stevo. No. Who am I?
And Dreadwar Gaming.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I've heard of that guy.
Not split screen today.
No.
No. On the same camera. You're here in the 6 plus studio. You feel
Yeah.
like a big deal.
I am a big deal.
Big deal in a small place. Eh?
Yeah.
There's not much room in here, is there?
No.
It's kind of a studio built for one. But we're squeezed in. We made it work.
You can't see on camera, but he's got no elbow room whatsoever there. He's literally pushed
No,
up
I
against the shelf.
I'm against me bit with all my bits and pieces on. But yeah, so we're going to do today, we thought we'd do a bit of a paint along, haven't we?
Paint and chat.
Yeah, we're going to paint and chat.
Yeah. And see how much we can actually get done.
That's it. We're going to be painting one miniature each. I'm going to be painting this guy. He's an old 3rd edition metal knob. I've undercoated him, ready, and yeah, so that's what I'm going to be painting. It'd be interesting to see how much I can get done by the end of it. What about you?
I'm doing a mech. An old school mech is actually the... What do you call it? The spanner?
It's the Gorka Morka one.
Gorka Morka one, yeah. So I changed the backpack because I want to use that elsewhere, the little flamer one. And I also changed the gun on the arm because that's one of the old school... bionic arms that you could get back in the day. And it's sort of made for this guy because like the join between the arm, you wouldn't even notice. As I was saying to the boys the other day, you wouldn't even notice the join. I did such a great job of green stuff in it too, and then I dropped it off the shelf. So now you will notice the join because it's got a bit of extra super glue.
So, as we begin painting, I'll tell you what, mate.
So the idea though is that we're going to see how much in this period of time that we sit here and chat and just do this video, how far we can actually get with one miniature. Because
we're going to try and get a bit done. It's not going to be like, we're not doing a challenge. It's not like, oh, watch us, and by the end of it, we're going to have it finished, because that'll just lead to disappointment.
Exactly. But to say there was no competitive streak would be a lie.
Well, not from this end.
Oh, bullshit.
I don't worry about what the lesser people do. So, I'll tell you what though, mate.
Yes?
In preparing for this, right, I got this miniature ready, and I was kind of wanting to start painting him. Like, if I hadn't have known we were doing this tonight,
you wanted him
when I got him out, I was just wanting to start painting him because I looked at him and like, so you know when you look at miniature, I don't know if you do this, and you guys at home, when I look at a miniature, I look at it and I start choosing, right, I'm going to paint his trousers brown, I'm going to do this, I'm going to paint that panel, that, and so I have a plan in my head. You don't do that?
Not really.
Well,
I wish I did have a plan. I plan most things in life, but my painting not so much.
Usually, I paint that pan and I just crack on. But I've repainted this guy probably about 5 times in my mind, just by sitting there and just twiddling and looking. And so yeah, I've changed my mind 100 times how I'm going to paint this guy. But I started really, really concentrating, going, actually, if I did that and that, it would look really good, and I can get him done really quick.
No,
So
but to be fair,
I'm going to put that into practice today.
actually now what you've actually done is you've made it so that you actually have a plan. So you actually know what you're doing to a degree. I haven't even thought about it, other than going, I'm painting a guy.
Most of him's going to be green. I know that much.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't. I wasn't just picking a unit that I needed for the battle. I was picking one that was actually, well, no, I mean, I could say I picked one that was easy to paint deliberately, but I didn't really. I mean, it is mostly easy because it's mostly skin, but it was more a choice of that's the only model I had that was actually put together, or until I broke it, was the only one that was put together, undercoated, and sort of needed paint. So it was just default.
Well, yeah, this one for me wasn't about getting him ready for our battle, which, by the way, guys, stay tuned. That battle will be coming to you on this channel very, very soon. But the reason I want this guy done, because I've got a few knobs painted up, and once I've painted this one dude up, I then have a whole nother squad, because I've got enough knobs with this guy to have a whole squad of 5 and another one to lead my boys with. So yeah, this is going to be like a very productive session for me, because although I'm just painting one miniature, I am effectively creating a whole nother squad for my list, which will expand my list nicely and give me some more options.
That's amazing. I just picked up a brush. Now I've lost that brush. I picked it out of this pile. I didn't see myself put it back. It's cool.
I think I held off painting this guy for a while as well, because he has a totally illegal loadout now. He is armed with a custom shooter and a chopper. And from what we see now, 10th edition, knobs don't have the slugger chopper option anymore, and they've not for some time had the custom shooter option. But I think I'm going to get around it. What I'll class him as having a combi shooter, basically, because what is a combi shooter these days? It's just a generic weird weapon that does something, because half of them have got scorchers, I've got rockets. So if this one's a double barrel, it just make a so yeah, and then the other weapon can just be a close combat weapon.
The trouble we have with that rule, though, if you think about it, is that if we're you don't want to then make things to go, oh well, it will count as either one of these or one of those, because later down the line they'll end up distinguishing between the two again in such a way that
they probably will. They probably will, but in that case, I'll just make it work as something else,
Yeah, this is it.
It would just be a really impressive slugger. Yeah, I'm sure they'll always have some kind of shooty option for them.
So actually, as it goes, like this whole, I mean, we've just played a game, and I almost had the whole lot of my army painted that I was intending to actually have done for our meet-up, which is a couple of months away. So I've actually done really well. I've actually pretty much, I'm there. I mean, I've got one more week, I reckon, in me of painting in the evenings, and I'll have them lot done. So then I'm ready for the meet-up. I've successfully prepared for a change. I'll actually have a finished painted army there, which was, I didn't think I'd be able to do it, but I've had quite a lot of drive lately. Even though I've been otherwise busy in life, I've been quite driven by the fact that... You've been
smashing it, mate.
Yeah, by the fact that we've had our meetings coming up. The other guys all had beautifully painted armies, and I was like, oh yeah, it's almost there. I just felt like I was, coming to a bit like going to a disco and everyone else is wearing their finest, but you come from a poor background, so you borrowed your brother's shirt and it's a bit big for you, and like it might be a nice shirt, but it don't properly fit you. So this time around, I'll be feeling like I'm
I hear
coming
you.
properly.
I hear you. I remember way back going to Nick's tournament right at the beginning, and just like, it felt proper, it felt like intruder syndrome, big time, especially with everyone else having these most people there had really beautifully painted armies, and mine were in the very early stages. I mostly grey, and it just felt a bit shit. But that was corrected at the next meet-up.
So I've dry brushed some metal on my gun. That's the first thing I've done, because I'm like, okay, it probably wouldn't have spilt over onto anything else either. And usually it's not the way I go about my metals, particularly dry brushing, but we're kind of speed painting in a sense. So I'm just getting a bit ahead of the game there. Basically, I'm hoping that I'm gonna. I mean, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot by even saying it, but I'm hoping that I'm gonna have this guy done. It's very ambitious, isn't it?
What you're gonna have? You think you're gonna have that guy done by the end of this this video?
Yeah.
You've got no fucking chance.
I know. I'm so ridiculous with my ambition.
Let us know in the comments, guys, if you're in the Premier chat. Place your bets now. Can he do it?
I massively oversighted that army before I got here, so probably not.
At least you're starting to
understand my failings.
Well, understand limits of time. You've always been ambitious, haven't you? In terms of even with our video projects and stuff. He's like, well, we'll do this. And
oh, mate,
they're always great ideas, but they're not always realistic ideas with our time and budget.
I've learned not to always say anything, because I'll tell you, before I come here, I was like, yeah, I've got another idea. We could do another video while I'm here. There's another idea I've got, and I was like, I'm so glad I didn't actually say it, but now I have anyway, so I just ruined it.
and then you moan at me for rushing you around everywhere. But it's only because I'm very conscious and kind of understand how long things take, and it's like, right, if we get that done by then, that is likely to take this long, right?
Just found
and you can just see time vanishing.
I just found a metal tab on this miniature that I hadn't pulled off before.
Oh, I hate that, mate. If you look over at Wallop, there's some of his arms. I've noticed some big mould lines I fucking didn't get off, and I don't know what to do at this point. I'm gonna have to file them down a bit and just go over the metallics again on those bits, because they're bugging me.
Yeah, that's bugging. It's too much to bear.
So at the time of recording this, every time you knock that desk, the camera's doing
I'm sorry.
all over
I'm
the
sorry.
place.
Sorry, people.
Gentle. Come on, feather touch. That's better. You ain't got to shake it on the disc. Yeah, at the time of us recording this, you guys will be, what day is? Oh no. Yeah, now at the time of recording this, you'll be watching this about a week later, actually. So I don't know if much of this is old news, but Warhammer Old World.
Yes.
For us, quite an exciting time, because just today, actually, at the time of recording, they've revealed a lot of the stuff for the Orks and Goblins and what they're getting for the Old World, and it's going to be great for us 40k Ork players, because we've got some classic kits coming back, haven't we?
And they're multitude of uses for those kits as well. They're massively useful.
Oh, big time.
The boys ones, I mean, and the grots, because they obviously, as most people probably are aware, they tie in beautifully with the boys kit, and of course the Burner Boys kit and Looters kit and all the others. Like, they all tie in beautifully. So it's just another string to your bow as far as those kits are concerned.
You'd be amazed how many. Whenever I share pictures of any of my Ork boys that are wearing those fancy bad moon hats,
some people would go, "Where'd you get that?"
Yeah, everyone's like, "Where did you get the moon hat?"
Yeah.
And I always tell them, I'm like, it's an old fantasy boys kit. They're getting a bit harder to come by these days, but that's not going to be the case very soon. So yeah, it's fantastic for that reason. Also, it's going to screw the scalpers. I mean, I can't really call them scalpers, can I? They're not scalpers selling 20, 30-year-old models, I guess. It's a bit late to the party. But, you know what I mean? Basically, what I'm saying is the prices of some of these old classic
can
kits
be difficult
are astronomical now on some of them, like ludicrous prices. And, I mean, GW, I'm sure, will try their best to make them ludicrous prices, but they will be marginally less ludicrous than the prices that you're paying on eBay for out-of-production miniatures. So yeah, I guess the second-hand stuff will probably drop quite a bit.
Yeah, I suppose there's a consequence. There's a consequence.
No one's going to buy it, are they? No one's going to buy a fucking old classic boys for like.
And have to strip it and everything else.
But they're bringing back the boar boys, so great for our feral squig hog, boar boys in your 40k armies.
Are these the ones that used to be in metal? Are they going to now be in plastic? So like the trolls.
I'm I'm not sure. I don't know.
Because I would like...
I don't know. We've been busy today, haven't we? So we haven't really read and looked at the stuff properly. He's looking good already, mate.
I know. I would like the trolls if they weren't metal, because I've started working on some trolls that I'm making as cans, and so I could add to that squad quite nicely if they are pliable. If they're metal, I'm just not interested. I'd rather just get something else, different kit for someone else, or different army or whatever.
Do you think you need more trolls? How many you've got? I've got 3
4
cans and the Death Dread one.
4 cans. No, there's 5 of them. I made 5 trolls.
So you got 5 killer cans
Yeah.
and 1 Death Dread one.
Yeah.
So you got 6 basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you do kind of really need one more.
More troll. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can have the full troll 6-pack.
Yeah, troll 6-pack. And so I'll be able to like literally, like even if I'm playing against you, and I play my cans and you play your cans and your dreads, I can have mine be completely different to yours because they're feral ones. So that it wouldn't be like, oh, look at... I mean, if you wanted it, you still do the whole cans and dreads thing, but, you know, I just thought it'd be pretty cool to have a feral version.
Viewers, oh yeah, no, you got to include them in that. But viewers, what Dread is talking about at the moment in terms of his trolls, Dread over... Did you shared them on your channel, didn't you? You shared your Death Dread one, didn't you?
Maybe, yeah.
He's been working quite a while now on getting basically counts as killer cans and counts as Death Dread, and he's used the trolls and the Troggoths and stuff from Age of Sigmar, and 40k'd them all up, and they look very cool. They're going to be very impressive when you guys get to see them. His Death Dread one is actually, if we remember, we'll pop a link up.
That is on my channel.
Yeah, we'll pop the link up to show that off because that was really cool. And they made him some little buddies to go along with, didn't you? So that'd be cool. Nice thematic.
He's actually he's needing his base sorting out though, because it doesn't tie in with the others now. It's a slightly different colour. So I did it a bit more Marsy, a bit more red.
Well, mate, you've got some beautiful looking skin on yours already. All I've done is made mine more black because I did the undercoat, but there was lots of metal still showing, so I've just gone over with some paint to get him all blacked up, and now I can't see any metal there at all. So we're good to go. Cool. So then now I can start painting him. So I'll be on to the dry brushing next. Where shall I wash my black brush? In the little pot. Your little pot? I want to make the water too. Or should I keep the little pot for some proper cleaning? Yeah. Tell you what, if we wash in this one, and then we wash the final wash in the little one, there you go. And then we'll have one clean pot going. Because we are limited on space. It's all been a bit of a rush job, this, isn't it? Not this. I mean, we've got quite a lot of busy schedule, haven't we?
Well, yeah, to a degree, yeah.
We're creating some content and stuff. We've got some other things planned and stuff as well. Oh, I should show them. Last night we was doing a bit of painting, weren't they? And I was working on this dude who is very nearly finished. So yeah, he's so close to being done, and that was good fun. I'll tell you what. What do you think about this painting one miniature at a time?
I would like to do it more often. It's just that I have been... The last couple of times I've had painting sessions, it's because I've been like painting for you guys, which has been a good thing. It's motivated me, it really has.
Yeah.
But I've been doing big chunks to have... I've got 2 army lists now painted. So now I can actually finally chill and start doing miniatures or units at a time. But I was always playing catch up, I felt. So I'm finally now over that hurdle, I think.
Do you know what, mate? As I'm sure I'm not making anyone surprised, I don't particularly enjoy painting. Usually. Sometimes I do. There are moments where I get a little bit of enjoyment. But painting one miniature at a time, just sitting there, that's when I find it fun. And knobs are great for that because you can paint one knob and then it gives you an option to swap the knob out in the boys squad of different loadout and stuff. But then as you start adding them to them, you can start building up, and then you get enough to make a squad.
People always think they want more than one knob, and you just got to focus on one knob at a time. I've heard that said, at least.
Yeah, you're talking about spit roasting. Fair. Yeah. Your one's always going to feel a bit neglected, a bit unloved. Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's what's happened here.
I had to take it there. I'm sorry.
So yeah, this guy, he's like, hey, what about me? So he's close to finishing. He's close to climaxing. And he's just at the point that I've literally stopped before the last step, so he's basically had a ruined orgasm. Poor fucker. And this guy's, hey, that's my turn.
Oh, I do that to all mine. I'm like, oh yeah, you can sit there and wait for another 2 years now. You're
this
almost
is because
there.
we were talking to Navani earlier on the bloody Discord.
It's him. Filthy minds.
Navani are the
resident
Warbosses of the Apocalypse.
Resident sexy European man.
And the composer and writer of our intro music.
Yeah, which is pretty dope.
It's the dopest theme tune on YouTube. Right, let's do some metal.
I'm genuinely like almost there on the skin, other than the obviously I've got to put a wash on and highlighter, but like pretty much got the base.
So what else have they got coming out in this old world? They've got the chariots, the rock lubber, and then we've got a new warboss. Big boss,
and a shaman as
big
well.
boss I think they're called, and yeah, a goblin shaman. We've got some classic goblin characters coming back. The fella that's riding the squig with the armoured face would make a fantastic Grotma skits. Really would make a fantastic one of them. We've got a night goblin with a big banner.
Oh, Dim just got the Grotma skits. That's what he's playing with.
Is it? Oh, tidy. Cool. Be interesting to see how the de-Christmasifying goes.
Yeah, funny enough, he's doing that too. He said it's his idea and you stole it.
It totally wasn't his fucking idea, and do you know what? For once, I got fucking proof because I got it on the fucking video that I did for it. And anyway, you already winded me up, didn't you?
No, he did. He said that.
Dim, you'll be in the chat right now. You can confirm or deny, please.
He did say that.
Even if he didn't, he'll just say he did now, just to wind me up even more.
I don't wind people up.
Oh, mate, these makeup brushes. I fucking adore these.
They're so lovely. I adore them.
It's really brought out the blue in my eyes. Around there's,
there's me saying no, I don't need any. But now we're on camera, I'm like, jeez, I could have done with some makeup because you're right. It does make you look better. Whereas I should have done it, because then I would have looked even better than I do now. But then it would have been a disbalance. I suppose you needed it, I didn't, so it worked fine. You
can't sprinkle cocoa on a turd and call it a truffle. You just can't. Well, you can, but it's not going to convince anyone.
Says the chief truffle sniffer. I know this because I'm the chief truffle sniffer.
I'm
lost the words.
Yeah. Thank you, Dread.
I think I'm adding a bit too much of this green to it now.
After some very delicate, just
focus. There's some variation in this green anyway. There is. Alright, let that dry a little.
I should have picked a smaller brush though. I put a fairly generous blob of gunmetal there, and the brush is ready. It's just gone. I'm like, wow, I definitely should have used a smaller brush. This is more one that this was the one I was using for me dreads the other day. I haven't got much of this gunmetal.
Brush selection is so vital. Sometimes I've had the exact same thing happen so many times. You're like, hang on, this paint usually goes miles, so I've just got one scoop on that brush. That's it.
Yeah, and mind you, you've got some gunmetal as well, haven't you? Want to paint the gunmetal?
No, not army paint. No.
I'm saying that derogatory tone. You've got a load of army painter paints there.
A couple, tryouts. The black and the grey were alright.
This gunmetals, I love this gunmetal. I use this so much. It's just the old school bolt gunmetal.
So his wrench, do I go red?
Red? Are you trying to get your red, yellow and green on him?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a blue. I mean, a blue wouldn't really.
This is the bit where you want to just stop and look at it and sort of try and identify what bits could be what.
Right, yeah, I know. I know what I'm doing. I've done this before. I mean, not paint this miniature, but I've painted before. Okay. Right.
We've both been quite productive lately, haven't we? Because we're probably
Damn
two
right,
of the
actually.
least productive in terms of...
That's fair to say.
Do you think? No, well, we're certainly not up there with Sid and Essex.
But we're not down there with Scar and Dim, so...
No, we're sort of mid-range.
Yeah,
Mid-range,
We're the
yeah.
mid-range Warboss.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I want to ask you, right? Like, so, you know, I am the Warboss of, like, the shill Warboss of positivity, generally, yeah?
Mm.
So, would you say, like, you know, sliding scale, you've got Dim at one end and me at the other?
Well, so if Dim's a 1 and you're a 10...
Yeah. So where
Right.
do the rest of you guys fall within that in the hierarchy of positivity to negativity in terms of like GW?
Well, okay, yeah, I'd rather answer it in terms of how they feel about GW rather than in terms of their mentality towards it. Because I mean, like for me, for example, I'm probably my feelings towards GW are right down there at 2. Probably not quite Dim level, but so very, very, very close. But my like Dim still be down there on a sort of 1 on the ability to sort of like move on from that, and I'm pretty much on the other side of that scale. Like I'm quite like happy myself. But I would say, okay, so Dim's 1, you're 10. Scar rates GW 3 or 4. Clint it's about 7 or 8. And Sid about the same. Do you know what? I can't say that Sid or Clint, either one of them is more into it, because if you think about it, Clint does Essex does the a lot more
Blood Bowl.
Yeah, other games,
Yeah.
other games, and he plays like
He does a bit of Star Wars Legion.
and he does
Plays a lot of Hero Quest. And
he
that
paints
as well.
prolifically as well.
Yeah.
But and he does love 40k. But I'd say maybe Clint's more for other games than he is for 40k. So maybe Sid's got the grasp on him on the 40k, but you asked about GW, so about the same. And me, where would I put myself? This is really fucking typical, but I'm going to go, I'm going to sit right on the fence. I'm about a 5. 'Cause, like, my attitude towards GW, yeah, because I'm not happy with them, but at the same time, it doesn't make any difference to me. It really, like, at the end of the day, I would love it. I would be up there.
Well,
it
does.
I'd be up there in the 10s. I'd be in the 10s
Yeah.
if they did everything I wanted, but they don't, so it doesn't affect me because I can just make the most of my hobby anyway.
Yeah.
You know, if GW went bust tomorrow, it wouldn't affect me in a negative way. Probably in a positive way. I'd be quite chuffed, actually.
I don't know. I don't think.
Don't take that the wrong way, viewers. I just think that if the company was to go bust, it wouldn't go. Like the hobby wouldn't go anywhere. The community
hobby
would take
but
it
would,
over.
No, but to a
Somebody
degree.
would revive it.
I think though if they went out, I don't think that would be great for all the third parties. I think because if they went out, I think the mass market popularity of it would drop a lot, and
For a
I think
while.
the third parties would then drop off a bit because the demand would go down. I think personally.
Yeah, it will. But then you'll go back to
fact
a
that it's-
hardcore fan base again.
But
It'll
because
be
it's
proper
so
fans.
huge, is why we've got all these third parties creating all these amazing miniatures
Yeah,
for this game.
I know. I
I
appreciate
don't
that.
think they'd support a game that was way less popular. What I would like, we were discussing it earlier though, weren't we, about there's no one that's really challenged GW's I know there's big games. Star Wars Legion, big game, doing very well.
Yeah.
BattleTech does very well. We got things like Malifaux and other games that you hear about, and Kings of War and that stuff. But none of these games are just anywhere near the level, are they?
In any other business, I would say all they've got to do is drop the ball, and someone else is going to pick it up behind them, and they'll be gone. But it seems GW can drop the ball as many times as they like. It doesn't matter.
That wasn't the point I was making. Though. The point I was making was, I would like another company to do really well, because then GW would do
real
better.
competition. Yeah,
there's real competition, genuinely threatening them, cutting into their market share in a significant way. I like Coke and Pepsi or Nintendo and Sega. The great when they were. They were at their best when they're up against the ropes. That's when they really do right by the customer and really try and market.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And so I would like. I think a lot of the other games that are out there seem really cool, but just none of them lore-wise or faction-wise or range-wise. They don't pull me in the way GW does.
Yeah. Well,
none of them. Not one.
Which is really unfair, isn't it? Because basically their lore and everything about them is stolen from everything else. But that is why you're drawn to them, because it's that... I was working this out the other day, actually, that I come to realise, if you want to make a movie set in the future, right?
Yeah.
And your future is really obscure and different, the one way that you can draw an audience into absolutely buying into it is to have some form of familiarity.
Yeah.
And this is what the films in the 80s used to do that films nowadays can't do so much, or don't do so much because of, having to buy the rights and whatnot. But it's placing like McDonald's into your movie.
Oh yeah, like on Blade Runner, you see like the Atari sign and stuff like that, yeah.
Because that makes people go, I've got one of those at home, and they're there in the future. So it's the future of here, even though it feels obscure and different. It has that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forgot the point, but it's very interesting anyway.
Yeah. Don't forget them.
Yes.
Right, so I've done my metallics. Right, what am I going to do next? Red? I've got to paint a load more black now over the metallics I've just done.
This is the problem you're going to have, or I'm already having.
Skin. I'm going to do skin.
You're going to rush and then go over things that you've just done, and oh fuck, now I've got to go back over that.
I always have to go back over my blacks anyway, because they get messy. What I always do, people, so I always spray a black, and then I go over the whole model metallic. So all my metallics are done now, and now I go in and start painting the skin and the clothes and the armour. And so anything that's not metal, I paint in its appropriate colour. So I'm going to start on the skin, which is the bit that always takes me the longest, because it's the fingers and the neck, the bit that's tucked under the neck bit that no one can see, but I still want to get the paint on. This bit here, I always have trouble with.
Oh yeah.
Especially if their heads, depending on how their head's angled, it can be down. I've got to get right
when
under.
you just said that, I was like, have I missed any skin?
I always miss a finger or a hand.
Well, as you go, you say that it's the palm of the hand
or an ear, because some of them have little hats on and things, but
and
their ears poke out.
Yeah,
and I'm like, later on, I'm like, oh, what's that little bit? Oh, it's a fucking ear poking out. But this guy's got a helmet on, so.
Tell
which
you what,
will make, like, this guy's a perfect example of the neck being a right bitch to get to.
That grot.
That's going to be really fucking awkward, actually. Cause it's right.
That grot that I've got from Blood Bowl, the one with the sort of chainsaw thing in the air, he's wearing like a metal hat, but he's got ears that are sticking out of this hat. But I've never seen such ears on a grot before. They're sort of like flat, and they've got like with the way they've been sculpted, it's like a bead of green stuff around the outside to make the triangle of the ear, and then a load of dots on the inside to make sort of some sort of inner ear texture. It looks really naff. Yeah. It's the one thing on that miniature I'm like, oh, that looks really crap.
And what miniature is that?
The one that otherwise is really cool, with one foot in the air and he's holding like a chainsaw-y sort of thing, is from Blood Bowl.
Okay.
I
get you.
Yeah, it's just a bit of an oddity. Right.
Were you just eating some more paint there?
I was, yes.
Tasty?
No, because it's got metallics on it.
One of your 5
metallics are never good. Right, I'm going to brush up on my brown a little. No one on longer want this big brush. I think this big brush can bell up, bugger off.
I think it's going to be an exciting year for Ork players because we've banged on about the old world a bit, and that's going to be great. That's not going to interest everyone, but for us and a lot of you out there watching this, hopefully you'll be thinking like the same as us, like, oh, there's lots of good bits there for kit bashing and converting and mashing in and getting more variety in your Orks. So that's always a win. And some of you might be, let us know in the comments actually if you're planning to get into the old world, and if you're a big lover of the old, if you've missed fantasy and the square bases and all that. But we've also got the
new codex, but then
the new new Bad Moon character.
Yeah,
this new big mech looking character in the silhouette. We've got, and potentially a lot more besides.
But our codex is going to obviously come later, I would say, than the other ones. They said spring, but it looks like it's going to be.
I think it's still going to be spring.
Yeah, but
I think it'll be like the next thing they start teasing.
Yeah, but at the moment now it's going to be the
Crew
Tau, isn't it? So
yeah, it's out. They got the Crew. They're coming out around. Their codex is dropping a similar sort of time to ours. Because they were spring as well, so us and the Tau will be a similar time. So yeah, we haven't got long to wait. I reckon it's going to land around the time we do the meetup, so it might be just before, it might be during, it might be just after. I mean, if it drops during, we're going to have to do a live
review,
Warboss reaction thing or something, isn't we? It's going to be interesting. There's a car alarm going on. I don't know if the mic's picking that up, guys, but
can't tell if it's mine or
it's not mine. Mine doesn't sound like that.
I don't know.
This is like a woo woo woo. Mine's more like a eh.
Oh, I don't know what mine does. The new car. That's the sound it makes when people are breaking into it outside your house, probably.
Yeah, could be. He won't go and check though, viewers, because he's dedicated to the cause.
Yeah, exactly. The cause is sitting.
Indeed,
I like a good sit.
Well, like sitting on the toilet.
I don't actually sit on the toilet. I don't take long.
What do you do? Like hover above it or something?
No, I mean,
take a run and jump.
No, I mean, I just don't. I don't sit there like some people. Like, take a book, fucking read a few of them.
Oh mate, most of the YouTube content I watch is done sat on the toilet.
Yeah, I know. I just can't. I can't do that.
I mean, I don't go in there and sort of go right, settle in for the night. 2 hour video. But while I'm on there, I will watch or listen. Again,
when I was younger, I suppose.
Do you guys watch do you watch YouTube and so? How many of you have watched us whilst having a poo?
Nice.
Have to put a vote up on the channel, won't we?
Oh yeah.
Never mind which is best, this unit or this unit. How many of you watch us on the toilet?
Those Warbosses have hit new lows.
We're really struggling for topics.
Yeah, they got a poop hole.
And this is following talking about the so we had some nice nostalgia videos recently, haven't we? Go and check them out if you missed them, guys. Dim and Sid.
We used to make real content.
Did a really nice video about Warhammer the Orks recently. At the time you're watching this one, that would have been 2 weeks ago. And then last week we had Clint and Scar doing their 5th edition look back, a nostalgic look back. So be great for any of you, if you did miss them, go back and watch them, because if you have an interest in that and want to remember those happy days, or if you're just curious and maybe you were too young and you weren't around then, you want to hear what all the fuss is about and why everyone keeps banging on about how great the times were.
Oh my god, I do not know what was on that brush, but it was disgusting. I only licked it to get a point, and it's just got a sting on my tongue. Yeah, so I got the motivation to get my miniatures done through having this meet up with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're a similar sort of person to me in that sense, aren't you? That you sort of need a sort of more of a reason to push yourself.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it does help me to a degree. It can work for and against me. If I pressure myself, I'm okay. If it's when other people pressure me, when I feel like other people are like, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do this," and it's like a bit like, for me, it starts sucking the fun out with him. But if it's like me, just personally, I want this done.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's something you can save yourself the embarrassment of not being the guy that hasn't got something done. It's pretty decent.
Yeah. The thing is, it's not that embarrassing usually, is it? Because we don't judge people on it. And I'm sure it's much the same with us. Most people.
I feel like I could duck out of, like, you know, things that are, like I say, like our challenges, for example. Like, if I'm busy with life and I can't do it, it's fine. But when I've made a commitment to come and play a bunch of guys, and we've, you know, I think that's part of it, is that there's 6 of us. We've
sort of showing respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Like respecting the others that you've put the effort in, you've bothered.
I'm going to that meetup, whether I whether I'm skint or whether it doesn't matter if my car breaks or what. I'm getting there. I'm going.
Yeah,
that's happening. So I want to turn up with an army so that you guys can get the most out of me being there, because otherwise it's pointless. Well, not pointless, because
we haven't got you there for your sparkling personality, have we?
No, of course not.
Christ.
So yeah, you know,
that's just something we have to put up with to get to whoop your ass on the table, and then roll some dice. What inspires you then? But I mean generally in life. I mean, what inspires you with your army and your painting and just sort of your hobby in general, I guess?
I'd say it is just literally just having in my mind's eye like what I want it to be when it's done. That's the inspiration, is like how I've seen it in my mind's eye when it's finished. But the reason to actually see it through and to not give up would be, like I say, like just having like a good circle of friends and people that are worth playing with. Like if for example I was or I tried joining a local gaming group and it was a bunch of guys that I didn't really get on with and stuff, then I would just, you know, you get so far with your painting and then you go, well, what's the point anyway? Like, I'm not in any rush to go and play them. So it would just get shelved, and you'd go to the pub, or you do this, or you do that.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't get done.
You really do need a group.
It's a reason.
It can just be one person, kind of a friend that you regularly play with. And
damn right, it can be. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I would definitely say it could be one person. Definitely.
If you had no one to share it with,
yeah,
it would bring you some enjoyment, but a lot of the enjoyment comes from getting it, showing it off, and the positive feedback from your friends and people in the community, and it going, oh, that looks really cool, I love what you've done.
Probably if you was only doing it for yourself entirely, just you probably wouldn't build a gaming army. You just build like one-off pieces, you know, like
most likely
display pieces.
Yeah. Even then, though, you'd think, well, you know, who am I? If you didn't have someone to show it off with and share it to, you know, I think we hobbyists and gamers and everything, we all inspire each other, don't we, and keep each other.
I would definitely encourage people in the community, like within the 40k Ork community, to try and arrange meetings more. Try and meet up with other people in the community. Put a post up in the Facebook group and just say, look, I'm in this area of England, or I'm in this area of the USA, or wherever you are, and say, like, is there anyone in the group that lives near me? And, you know, you might find that there was 2 or 3. I mean, we know ourselves, the Warbosses, that, I mean, we're spread out across the UK and Ireland, but we've got a few other friends and members of the community in Australia, and once they started chatting, they started meeting up and doing their own.
Pale Ork, he flew over just last year.
Yeah,
didn't
he came over here to do a UK
I
tour.
couldn't attend, and I felt so shitty. But it was last year. I was getting married, and the commitments at work and the getting married people, it's a big job. It's
Mm-hmm.
you know,
It's a
there's
big
there's a
deal.
lot. Yeah, it is a real big deal. So I had to politely decline. It was just a bad time.
And obviously being the best man, I was inundated as well.
You were the page boy, and you know it. But bridesmaid. I saw you out there trying to catch the bouquet.
I won't deny that.
Headbutting the bridesmaids, kicking your way
It's
through.
mine. It's my moment to shine.
I'll tell you what inspires me. One of the things that inspired me on a big level, in terms of like the creativity, was Lord of the Rings extended edition making of
All right.
bonus
Okay,
DVDs.
yeah, I've watched that.
I have probably watched them more than the movies themselves.
Really?
I have. And
I think I only ever watched these bonuses once.
I used to watch them a lot, basically, and you just have the actors talking about playing the roles and that and the writing. The bits that always got me, and you see the special effects being done, and you see the miniatures, as they call them on there.
Yeah, like
Bigatures
Minas
and
Tirith.
stuff. Yeah, and seeing all of that stuff being made. But for me, the very, very sweetest spot for me is all the concept art. Before they've started shooting, before they've started doing it, like the concept art of what orcs look like, what goblins look like, what Shelob would look like, then talking about the processes they went through of designing this stuff and that, and it's just, I find it's the creative in terms of when you're making your kit bashes, when you can, whatever you're building for your army or your terrain or painting it or whatever. I just love seeing people be creative and watching how they do stuff and things, and the movies themselves and things that just, I see something cool in a movie, I'm like, like movies in general inspire me. Like my Daka Dread, very heavily inspired by the T1s on Terminator Rise of the Machines, Terminator 3.
Yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, I can see that trundling along on tack tracks, just gunning down, like, so yeah, movies and that. But yeah, most makings of movies ain't that good. They've come on a bit better lately, but other good ones is the Aliens. The Aliens box set,
absolutely.
the 9-disc set,
and you actually watch that and you go, oh, now I've got to watch the film again, the director's cut version.
Yes.
After I've just watched the original version because they've just spoke about it so much that I've got to now sit through the other one. Yeah, I did that. I watched Aliens twice.
Yeah,
because you got to when you buy the box set.
For Aliens, after you've watched the extended edition, you can't go back to the theatrical edition.
No, but
you can't, because
that's why you start with the theatrical version anyway.
Yeah, that's the one we all started with, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, that's the way to do it.
I remember going to the cinema, right, Lord of the Rings, when it was out. I mean, look, it's an old movie now, which is crazy to think of.
Isn't it?
And the first one coming out, and then hearing that they're releasing the DVD anyway in time for, like, I don't know, Christmas or whatever. The DVD's coming out.
I lost my shit when they said there was going to be a special edition.
And they said, like 25 minutes of extra footage. I'm like, holy shit. And when I was first watching it at home and I'm watching the movie and loving it, and then scene comes up and
I've never seen this bit before.
Early on, and it's like, wow, all this extra shit and some really good shit. And Peter Jackson in particular was really good. Did you watch the special edition of King Kong?
No.
Peter Jackson's Kong. No. Oh mate, I've got it. I'll have to lend it to you. There's whole scenes, monsters, dinosaurs, completely cut out, like good shit.
Yeah.
There's a giant like fish monster thing called a piranodon that hunts them on the rafts, and that whole scene was cut out of the theatrical movie, and it's such a good fucking scene, because you might notice when you watch the movie, a lot of the people in there just disappear halfway through the movie. The reason is because most of them are eaten by that fucking fish in that scene. It goes on for quite a while as well. It's
not an important scene then.
No, but you can see the money and everything in this special
effects. Cut it right out and everybody dies.
What
happened to half the cast? We cut that scene.
It's true of a lot of movies, isn't it? There's so much that gets left on the cutting room floor. And some of this stuff, like a lot of money and creativity has been put into, and
yes, like
might slow the pacing down of the movie, or break up, or make the movie too long, or they're trying to hit a certain time limit or whatever. But yeah, movies inspire me a lot.
I forget his name now. The dude that played. I forget it. Forget his name. Can't remember. Not useful. Right.
Right, is that a wrist strap or is that a skin?
I'm doing the same thing. I'm like,
Because this guy's got a
that?
glove, but he's got like a fingerless glove, but then I can't see if he's got a... I think that is. It's all like a long glove, so... Yeah. The amount of times I've painted it, I've either missed the hand or gone overzealous with the hand, painted it all green and gone, oh no, that's a glove. I do like the fingerless gloves on Orks. They look cool.
I like the little studs that they have on the gloves too.
Yeah,
like,
he's got it.
Like if I punch her, it's
knuckle
gonna,
dusters, yeah. To be fair, you could just, if you didn't have the axe in the hand, that's the close combat weapon, isn't
Exactly,
it?
yeah.
If they've got a shooter and a clutch, that's the fucking just...
Well, that's the great
crack
thing
them with
about
that.
Orks is people say, oh, well, it's WYSIWYG. You go, well, all right, yeah, he's got it, look at that.
See, I very much play WYSIWYG.
I do.
Very much, but it's not always... It's not official WYSIWYG. I might have something that counts as something.
Yeah.
Not because I've got, oh, I haven't got it, that'll do. But it's because, you know, I've converted something or whatever to look like that. But basically have the same effect. I can't remember examples of it, I'm not sure really. I know there are examples of it in my army, I just can't remember what they are now.
That fancy gold colour that you had, you got that right?
I have, but I'll have to get it in a bit.
Well, I don't need any time.
Dread was admiring my knob earlier.
It's very shiny.
Particular one. He's the girthy knob, isn't he?
Shiny, girthy one.
Fat one. But yeah, he's got a big gold chain round his neck, and Dread was admiring the gold on it. So yeah, I do have that gold down here somewhere. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll find it in a minute.
That's not no rush anyway. Right, that's got to wash off of there. Oh, of course there's another nut there that I missed. He's a mech after all. He's got plenty of nuts. These nuts! Oh, almost splashed onto the skin.
Oh, I've done that a few times on this one already. I'm trying to go as neat as possible to save time later on and tidy up, but that never quite pays off. But if I try, it at least limits the amount of it. And there's some bits you have to get to where you're like, do you know what? Fuck it. I just got to get in that bit, so I'm going to splodge it in there and tidy it up later, because it will take me longer getting that bit in there without touching anything than it will tidying it up.
Yeah, but those are the ones where you've got to sort of go, I'll learn from that, and in the future I'm going to do that first before I do that. I've had a lot of those learning experiences just lately. A lot.
Yeah, likewise. What, you talking in the hobby or just life?
No, well, in both, both actually, funny enough, yeah. Yeah, in the hobby though, because obviously I've been painting every day for a long while. So yeah, those things have kind of come up.
Up until very recently, I was doing the same actually. I was like literally going, set myself a bit of a, I didn't declare it as such, but to myself I'm like, right, I'm going to paint every single day. Even if it's just 20 minutes. Even if I just sit down and I manage to paint one guy's gun or something, it's progress. And I thought if I carry on doing that, and then if I'm listening to a video or something that I'm really into, there's been loads of good interviews on YouTube lately on like the painting phase, Jordan Sorcery, been interviewing a lot of like other YouTubers, big names in the industry, old names for big names
Chambers and that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's been a few of them I've listened to, and because I've been so enthralled listening to these fascinating stories and stuff, again, much like with those making of movies and stuff, like hearing the creativity and the way they what was in their mind when they created the game systems or the miniatures or the factions. Like, I love listening to that stuff, and it's just fascinating to work in that industry, especially during that time.
Yeah.
And when I'm listening to that, I'm happy. I'm just powering through on the painting, because I sort of zone out and reach that, what Scar calls that sort of zen-like state, you know?
There does tend to be a bit more just lately of pushback against the oversaturation of competitive-driven gameplay and tips videos.
Yeah, because it's gone on too long, and there's been voices that have just not been there. I think, because mistakenly, I think a lot of people think no one wants that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm the only one, or whatever, or no, you know. But actually, it's not true, because the more it's like,
I'm glad of that sort of content myself. So I mean, I dip in and out of YouTube content when it comes to 40k. Like I watch my news and stuff on YouTube because I don't have TV, so I don't do TV. So I do get all my news and stuff on there. But as for 40k, I tend to sort of like spend almost like 3 months watching lots of stuff for a long while, and then
burn out on it.
3 months of none of it at all. I'm bored of seeing what anyone else thinks about 40k for a while.
Yeah.
But as I said to you the other day, I think weirdly it's more that when I'm not hobbying myself, that I'm actually keeping check on what's going on in the hobby and watching a few hobby videos. So I suppose I'm getting my hobby fix, I suppose.
Yeah.
By watching those.
Yeah.
Because I'm not actually doing it. But when I'm actually doing it, like when I'm sitting there in the evening and I'm painting, the only videos I've watched hobby related wise, I've got to be honest, probably you guys, like the rest of you guys.
Well, let's talk about Sid. Because if we want to talk about inspiration...
Yeah, well, I have inspired him a lot, you're right. That's what you meant, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant, Dread, yeah. I love a good kit bash. And I love a conversion, and I love seeing people's creativity showcased. I love that, and that shit's inspiring, you know. You've only got to look at, you know, all the videos of Sid's dreadnoughts, his death dreads, not to be inspired to go and do.
They are very fun.
Yeah.
Not only are his miniatures actually really glorious, but his videos are good fun. A good sense of humour in his videos, which is a good, very important thing, I think. And I've enjoyed I mean, that's what I mean. I've only really watched you guys lately because it's the content that I enjoy anyway. So it's like, if I'm going to get my hobby fix, I get it from the guys that I actually enjoy. Like,
it's certainly more inspiring than some guy in a polyester shirt.
Oh yeah, I mean,
trying to sell his coaching services to you for tournament play, and it's it's not very inspiring, is it? I mean, I guess it is. If you
want to be just like that. I want to be like you, hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
I want to learn to be like a darts team too.
what is like... I mean, I think it's talking about the painting phase. It was watching their interview just on their recent one the other day, and they did a lot of talk. I can't remember who the guy was. Guy with the mohawk, quite cool.
Oh, the one you liked, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen him before. Big channel, but I've subscribed because what he was talking about.
The guy said his name the other day, and I forgot.
Well, they were chatting a lot about this sort of stuff, so I think that's why it sort of got it in my head, because it's quite fresh in my mind now. And they were having interesting conversations about, how we all play the game differently. Like, we won't spoil anything, but the game we've just played, we created our own mission rules, didn't we? And we house ruled a whole load of shit. Because for us, what's more important to us, particularly on a battle report, but just generally, I mean, for me personally, I like creating the story on the table. I like it when cool things happen.
Yeah.
And I like big moments, epic moments, funny moments. I like a close game. And just a good story. And I think we've achieved that today. You'll see for yourself soon. But
that's the point. Like, I mean, we've said it before, but obviously that's the point of 40k for me is that it's a fun game. If I want to be really ultra competitive and really win at something,
go and play snooker or something.
No, not even. I'm not gonna. I don't understand people that that hyper mathematical and right on it in a game that you don't win money. Go and play the fucking stock market, dude. Like, you're in the wrong game entirely.
I mean, they do. They do.
Go and make money. If you're that intent on being that anal about things, go and make money doing that.
I think at the big events, there's big cash prizes.
This is for fun.
Yeah,
for fun.
those the big events, they win money, don't they?
Oh yeah, well that's worth pushing for, isn't it? Again,
I mean, no, I don't think so, but
no, it's
just
waste of time. Waste of time. Get a real job.
Yeah,
get a real job. Yeah, start making 40k.
Get a real job. Become a 40k coach. Do that. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What has the world come to? Seriously, that's just mental to me.
So you're not going to use the coaching services yourself? You need it.
I probably fucking do. They'd be wasted on me, mate. I'm too thick to fucking... In game, I'm like, my strategy is just... I don't really have a strategy. It's just, what would an orc do? Let's do that. You know, that's just play for the... Yeah. I like it when people play their armies...
How they should be played.
Yeah, with a mind of that, like... Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, Tyranids, would they sort of castle up? Tyranids would swarm the board and consume everything. Necrons would slowly, relentlessly march towards you and gun you down while self-repairing, you know. Orcs generally just get stuck in. So that's how I try to play them generally.
Obviously the rules are designed to try and be as fair as possible so everyone has abilities to, or has the opportunity to do things like fall back and stuff like that, but I really do think that some rules should apply to some armies and not to others entirely. Like fear and stuff like that shouldn't apply to some armies at all, whereas others.
Like who should not suffer fear then?
Necrons.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. But then again, though, Necrons, they say that they're not scared, but they retreat when it's logical to do so. And when you say that kind of makes sense, actually.
There's very little reasons for an orc to leave either. He likes to fight. Yeah, but he loves to fight, and he's, you know, you could say, oh, he really.
Yeah, but orcs do retreat though. Orcs do retreat. If they didn't retreat, a lot of our characters, if orcs didn't retreat, Nazdreg would have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah, I hear you.
And they retreat so they can come back and have another go later, isn't it?
Well, that's the commonly given excuse, yeah, but it's still retreat. But yeah, when it comes to sort of dipping in and out of hobby and actually sometimes giving it time, sometimes not, I think it ties into that whole thing that we talked about with hobby burnout as well. It's like that can really be a thing. You can end up sort of putting too much yourself into it and then just go, oh, no, I'm done with it for a while. I think it's important to try and keep a balance, but then that's easier for some people than others. Some people just more naturally they're there and they don't have the extremity thing, so they don't even understand. Well, I don't see what your problem is, but for some people it really is. It's like they live their life that way.
What's that?
Well, extremities. So like I'm one of them. Like I will be hardcore into this hobby for 3 or 4 or 5 months, and then I won't want to know it, and I'll just be in the woods camping and fishing and stuff, and I won't want to do anything but that for a while. Yeah. I give my time to one of my hobbies religiously for a while, and then till I'm sort of like, okay, I want to do something else for a while. So you I never get sick of my hobbies though. My hobbies are
no, they're just it's just But you go through phases of being sort of single-minded and focused
into
on one thing. Yeah. I do the same actually. I do tend to sort of. I've been quite into the painting side of things lately, getting focused on my army and trying to get it to where I want it to be. And obviously, your army's never finished.
Everyone keeps saying that. I'm trying. Oh, you don't mean me personally?
No, just. I mean, my army, like, I'm now trying to focus on infantry because I don't have much infantry painted. I've got 20 grots and 10 shooter boys, and a load of tank busters. That's the infantry. I really want to bulk out the troops, you know, the battle line stuff. I really want to bulk that out a little bit to expand the army and the actual numbers of bodies to go alongside all them dreads and cans before I focus on more bigger projects and stuff to add to it.
I could never stop wanting to work on big projects. That's exactly why I had to, and I had to focus exactly the same as you on troops, because it was getting to a silly point. It was like, yeah, I could field thousands of points of Ork vehicles.
I don't like painting vehicles.
I love it.
I don't enjoy it.
I love it. I don't enjoy painting troops, but vehicles I do.
The bigger the model,
The
the less I enjoy painting it.
No, the bigger it is, the easier it is.
One of my favourite things to paint is a grot. Just because it's a short paint job and it's quick, satisfying results of something that looks good, and you're like, yeah.
Oh, don't you just hate that? When you realise, after getting so far with something, that those aren't shoes, they're not socks, they're just wraps around the ankles.
Oh, yeah, so his toes are poking out.
His feet
And
are
has he got
completely
his-
entirely there.
Are they the ones where you got the heel?
No, this is one of these weird
Oh, it's
old
just saying,
ones,
he's
isn't
just
it?
got barefoot, so he's barefoot.
Yeah.
Can you see his toe? Oh, yeah.
On a metal base. Oh, it's going to be fun.
It'll look good, though, when it's done.
When it's done, yeah.
You don't see many bare feet on Orks, do you, sir?
No, you do on grots, not so much on Orks.
Orks are usually wearing their shit kickers.
And
aren't
I
they?
do need to do that skin now, because I can't go on to my next layer until I do that. Oh,
Well, I'm currently doing that awkward bit of skin between his dog collar and his helmet.
you're kind of catching me up now. Then.
Not really, mate. So there he is at the moment. And that. Oh. Right.
7882, 78.
Now, while you guys are watching, let us know what you're up to while watching / listening to us. Are you doing some hobby at the moment? Tell us in the chat what you're painting, or if you're doing something else. If you're just sort of sitting on the toilet.
What is it with you?
I don't know.
Honestly. All we've got to do is talk about nipples a little bit more, and it'll be a full-on...
Oh, now you're talking.
Oh,
I can't. This guy's nipples are all covered. He's got a really cool body, actually. I mean, it won't show up on camera, but he's got like armor panels, like linked together over him. It's quite fantasy-esque, his chest on this guy. I like him. But these metal third ed knobs are awesome.
They are cool.
Well, here's a Black Reach knob. Mostly, he's Black Reach and arms from the current knobs, but there they are side by side. They're basically the same size. If anything, I'd say the third ed one he just stands about 1 millimetre taller, actually. So yeah, they're not scaled down, or there's no sort of real scale kit there. They're still big and impressive, and they still look good leading your things there.
Oh yeah, they're
And when they're all painted up, to the untrained eye, you don't know what ones are the old metal ones and which ones are the new plastic ones, because they look just as good, you know. Yeah. They really do.
That's the sort of range update you want, though. One where you go, these are popular, these are good. Here you go, here's some more that are just like it, but they're in plastic.
Do you think GW are getting better at that now? Lately, you think they've got the Terminators?
It depends who they're doing it for.
Well, Space Marine Terminators. The new Kroot.
Yeah.
Again, perfect. Right down to the Krootox and that. You could still use the old Kroot and the old Kroot, and they would tie in nicely. Just add a bit of variety.
But then the only thing that shits all over that is the new boys kit. What happened?
New Snickrot. Very similar to the old Snickrot.
I'll give you that one.
The new Git Stomper. Very similar.
However, I will say that the Snickrot, I don't see how anyone's sort of saying, oh, it's just as good. It's not. It's clearly not as good as the old one. It is similar.
I think
it's
that's
not
subjective,
as good.
mate.
Nah, it's just not as good.
I think it's subjective.
I'm sorry, but I am pretty good at spotting. Like, I'm not. It's not any nostalgia split saying any of that. It's just it is a superior model to the newer one.
In your mind.
Okay.
In your taste.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, for me, I can't really. I like both. I
like both.
I'd be happy with it. I haven't got either. I'd be happy with either. I think the classic Snickrot is a stunning miniature, I think the new ones, I'm not really keen on all the smoke effects they had on that. But
that puts.
But that's a niggle.
But you can leave that off, so it doesn't matter.
And he comes with options, which the original one didn't have. New kit having more options than the old kit.
But he looks more sinister. The old one, he looks more mean, more terrifying than the newer one. Looks a bit more gentle.
What I mean, gentles, you know. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I get your point.
He's more comic book.
Yeah, no, I get that.
He's less grimdark. That's what I mean. And grimdark is something that they've moved away from a little. Not massively, but a little.
A bit. They certainly toned it down with, I think it was felt most strongly with Chaos and Dark Elder.
Yeah.
Because they were, fuck me, they were dark. Certainly some of the Slanesh stuff and that, you know. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Slanesh this year, because they're getting a bit of their time in the sun, aren't they? We've had Nurgle, obviously, was heavily done in 8th.
Big time.
Khorne was heavily done last edition. We got a bit of a range refresh.
Not heavily, but yeah.
Well, they got new Berserkers and stuff, didn't they? They got Angron.
Weren't like the Nurgle one. Nurgle launch with 8th was huge.
Yeah, because they were part of the start faction, you know, weren't they? But then, was it 8th? Was it 9th? No, 9th was Necrons, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 8th.
But yeah, they got their Primarch. They got new Berserkers. They got a few other new units, didn't they? They got a bit of a range refresh and some new shit. Undivided are always generally fairly well catered for. Tzeentch were done really before them, really, weren't they? Because they had their Primarch back and everything. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do, Slanesh, because all they've really got is like the Noise Marines and a couple of characters and that, isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder if GW have the balls or not to do something really risque with them, you know, like...
I don't think so.
They've done it in the past, though. They always used to make quite, you know, risky models, and not just for them. I mean, Slanesh, but, you know, that's where you want to do it if you're going to do it at all.
I think I would like to see Slanesh excess pushed in more than just sexual ways. Like, they did that character for Age of Sigmar who's bloated because he's gluttony,
that'd be good,
excessive consumption.
There's a really good on Instagram, a guy called Pax Acrylica who makes like out of green stuff, does a lot of like fat 40k characters. Really cool, really good style. Check it out on Instagram.
Yeah, I need to get some more fat orcs in my army.
I love fat orcs.
I do. And they're perfect for bad moons, aren't they? Big fat fuckers.
Yeah, that's why I do those ones that, I mean, genuinely, I was going to do Squig Hoppers as Squig Ridey things, and seeing Sid actually pick those ogre bodies, and they make really good fat orcs.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Except watching his video, probably the thing to do is stick with the shoulders that they've got rather than try and change them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit. That's how you break him.
Oh, my word. Show the people.
I just broke my mini. I just broke my mini.
It's funny as well because Dredd is so funny about other people touching his miniatures.
I'm not funny about
You're the biggest threat.
How have I ever been funny about other people touching my miniatures? All I ever did was build some bases where I said the point of these bases is that you can pick them up without touching the miniature. Didn't mean anybody particularly.
You were moaning a bit. Everyone's going to come in with their cheese.
Everyone means me as well.
Cheese puff fingers and Dorito grease all over my miniatures.
Exactly. So now I'm going to need some strong glue to stand him back on there eventually, but not right now. Not right now.
Well, he's metal in it. There you go. There's the super glue. Don't frost up all your bloody paint job you've just done.
Yeah, look.
That's the trouble with super.
Why didn't I just pull him off to paint the toes in the first place?
I've got a little.
I was on it.
There's a little like paper there if you want to use it to sort of move the. I don't know.
Look, that toenail's got a bit of metal tab on it as well.
Mate, he's looking mint already though. He's done bang tight. That skin's So what paint is that you use on that skin? That's just a flat base coat, is it?
Well, no, that's these two.
Yeah.
So it's 70881 green yellow and 70882 middle stone, which is the secret recipe green. That's the one. But that one's the one down from it. So basically I put the two on the palette, and I'm aiming for the middle stone on the top with the I blend between the two. So I go with the green yellow underneath.
It looks really
blend in,
nice.
and then finish that with that one. And then what I'll do is I will hit that then with the Plague Bear Flesh.
Yep.
And then I might come in again and do some little highlights. But yeah, that's skin.
Oh, I do like your skin recipe.
Thank you.
It's
it took
really
me
nice.
fucking years to perfect.
I know it did. I know.
Years. It's the one thing I think has always been like the thing that held me back. Is like, oh, orc skin's so important. Oh, it's so important. You've got to get your recipe
It's
right.
important to get it right. That you're happy with it, isn't it? You've got. It doesn't matter how many other people tell you it looks good. You've got to be happy with it, haven't you?
It's been one of those things that I think probably because the generation that I came into it as well, or the generation I was hanging around in the War forum in the days that, I don't know, skin recipe used to be the thing that everybody used to ask of everybody else. It's like, oh, what's your skin recipe? Right? Whenever someone saw a good miniature, they'd say, what's your skin recipe? What's your skin recipe? And I suppose from that, I'm like, well, this is obviously a very important thing. You want to be getting a good skin recipe going on. And I've done so many in the past where I've mixed, like, one of the worst sins that I did, actually, this is something all viewers should avoid doing, is mixing your own super paint or your own super skin wash, where you go, I'm going to make the perfect colour. And you make it...
I never mix.
And you might even...
Because I just know that the next time I do it, it won't be the same.
I've even done
no matter how hard I try.
I've even filled a bottle that size, the exact same size as that. I filled up with my wash, but it now includes 2 paints that you can no longer purchase. So,
well, I mean, that can happen if you don't mix your paints, can't it? A
it
paint
can,
you love using just no longer available, or they change the recipe of.
It can, but if you're relying on 7 or 8 different paints to make one, you're already fighting.
It's like when you're painting a room in your house and you run out of paint, you've got to go and get some more, and it's a slightly different batch number of the paint, and you put it on, you're like, it's not quite the same.
I would say that if I have got about 700 paints, then at least 250 of them are greens. Like, so many of my paints are greens. I've got loads of greens from every brand, every company. I've tried them all. I've even gone and bought like bottles that size of paint, thinking I'm going to, and I'll get a couple of them because that's going to be my skin, and then I'll decide actually no, it's not. So I've only got one bottle of my favourite skin colour at the moment, but this is the one. So yeah, Vallejo model colour 70882 Middlestone green. That is.
Do you paint
the gold?
Is all your orc skin across your army the same?
Yeah.
Is it?
And my grots and knobs and warboss and
same for me.
And same with the trolls. Even are going to be the same, because they are orcoids in my book. Although I say that the Troggoth is slightly different. His skin is a little bit darker, but I think they're green skins. Although I can perfectly accept and understand law reasons why people's would be different colours and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Scar's knobs are darker, aren't they? And then his grots are the lightest.
Yeah, so they get darker as they get older, which is something that used to be in the law all the time. So.
Essex and Sid just make it different every time, don't they? And it all works. None of this is wrong. There's no sort of wrong way to do it. It's all
right
correct.
Way to do it, no.
And so you get and obviously Essex and Sid, their armies are made up of different clans, aren't they? Essex has got quite a few bad moons and stuff, and so mixtures of tribes and stuff. So
he's just changing a load of his from Evil Sons to Bad Moons, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or the bikes.
Well, and so you can see how they've gathered orcs up from different planets, different tribes, different clans have been swept up into their war as the war's, sweeping across the galaxy. And I see it a lot of the time as orcs in a different climate, in a different atmosphere, in different gravity, and or whatever, that are going to look slightly different. They're going to adapt to their surroundings and sort of evolve to surroundings and stuff. So. Yeah.
Well, I mean, with the way that the fungal sporing thing goes on, right? I thought this before. It's like if you're on a particular planet where I'm a bit of a plant nerd. So when it comes to I did soil science as well. So when it comes to soil, you could just have like a difference in acidity or alkalinity, and basically you're going to get a different colour mushroom growing, or different types of mushrooms growing. Which, if an orcoid mushroom is one that will grow in any environment, as they say, then what's going to happen in the different environments is just going to be subtle changes to it, rather than it not growing or growing. It will grow anywhere. It's just that they're going to grow differently. So that is for me why you would be able to argue. Oh, okay, well these orcs are red skin orcs, and these orcs are the. Oh shit! Now I've just got to wait for it to dry.
Let it dry.
Damn it!
Well, I would let you use the activator, but it'll fuck your paint up.
Yeah. I'm trying to paint it while the glue's still drying on it, holding him on the base.
I'm starting to think you should have pinned him.
I should have pinned him, yeah. I know. Will do the next time he breaks off.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know it's going to happen.
Maybe once he's dried after tonight's painting session, maybe just do the pinning then before you go further with the paint, because you still got your washing over the top in it. So probably now, before you 100% finish him, would be good. Mate, your one's already looking. His one's already tabletop ready. Already.
I told you, when I sit down and I go at it. And especially where at the moment I've been going skin.
You're quicker than me, but that ain't saying much.
Yeah, and I've been doing the same thing on each one again. Who else needs a bit of that colour? Who else needs a bit of that colour? And it's such a horrible way to paint.
It's boring as fucking it. It's just soul destroying.
Yeah, it has been not all that much fun at all. But like I say, the inspiration has been there to do it. I've been like, yeah, no, I'm doing it. I've got this meet coming up. I need a metal brush, which will be this one. I only use the old GW brushes for metal. I don't use any of my posh brushes for metal. Then,
not a worry for me, mate. I don't own posh brushes.
GW brushes are not posh. They're just so crap. Not to be a bitch, but I own a lot of brushes, and it don't matter how new a GW brush is. Once you've used it a couple of times, it's naffed. It's just a naff. I mean, it will last for ages after that, but it will never hold a point. You'll never get it to hold a point again. Whereas, I have got a brand that I will recommend to everyone, and it's not the Windsor New Series 7, because they're bloody expensive, but this brand, Pro Art with an E, Pro Art E.
You put an E on the end of it, you know you're dealing with like quality and a higher class.
They're really good brushes. Like, I mean, this one's quite thick with a really, really thin point. But the other one I've got from this brand as well is also that one and that one. So Pro Art Series. That's what them ones are. And then that one's a miniature painting one. But the Pro Art Series 107 spotters. So they're really good as well. Like, they just, even if you are using them, dabbing them and stuff, they come back to the shape that they should be. Use brush soap, of course, but...
Of course, you must always use your brush soap.
Yes, if you want to keep your decent brushes.
I am currently on mine painting... what is it I use? Skeleton bone. This doesn't, you can't make that out really. On one of his shoulder pads there, you can see skeleton bone. You can't see. You can kind of.
It's lighter than everywhere else, but it could just be metal shiny.
Yeah, it could be. But I do this. Those are the parts that are going to be yellow. So I paint over one coat of that first before I apply the yellow, and the yellow goes on really nice. So I end up painting quite a lot of it, this bone colour first. Some of the bits will stay bone colour. I use this paint for all my teeth and nails and horns, and quite often like t-shirts and loincloths and wrappings as well.
The cream I use for bone, or the cream I use for bone, is a different cream than I use for white on banners and stuff. I use two different ones because I was starting to not like the fact that my banners that have got white on them, because a lot of my boss poles have got white on them, were looking too much like my teeth, and I was like, nah, can't have that. It's got to be a different colour.
I only ever really use white as a actual white, as a sort of a highlight colour, a bit here and there. I very rarely use it.
Yeah, I never use proper white.
A little bit here and there. I use it on my checks a bit. I do the bone, then I put just a little bit of highlight of white on them, just to sort of...
Actually, the only time I use white, actual white, is if I'm laying it under a paint. So I'm putting it under there because that dot. So like, say on a lens, I might paint the whole lens blue, then put a white splodge up where it's going to be lighter, then paint it blue
Yeah,
again.
I do use white on all my
shine through.
lenses and custom force field bits for that sort of glowy effect, actually. I do use them for that. Right, what colour am I going to do them? I think about that now, because he's got them wrappings around, which I don't want bone on bone. That's tricky, because I was going to give him a yellow helmet.
I might as well finish some more metal while I'm doing that.
I might do... I could have brown wrapping around it. Yeah, I'll do brown.
Easy now, little boy.
I'll do brown. Because this guy's going to have a yellow helmet, and he's got horns on his helmet, but there's a bit of like wrapping around the horns. And I'd usually do that in this sort of colour, but I'm going to do them brown. So you'll have a yellow helmet, brown wraps, and then the bone horns. That's what he's going to have. There you go. Going for it. I did consider leaving the horns just metallic and having them, because I don't often do that, but I decided not.
Oh, I'm doing a really fiddly bit of metal now, so it's I don't want it to splash over onto any of the colour. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Imagine all the fun I have on my own without a radio in my van, can't you? So I feel sorry for the people that have to walk past. Just innocently leaving work on their way home, have to take the fear and danger of walking past that crazy caravan with that fella in it that sings to himself that could open the door any minute and throw a half-empty cold cup of tea out of his door, or drop kick a heater even.
So how much... so what sort of point value do you think your painted stuff sort of adds up to?
What now?
Yeah.
I've got
Just approximately, I know you can't...
4,000.
Painted?
Yeah, yeah.
Fair.
Because I've got down there 1,500.
Yep.
And then I've got 2 Dakar jets, 4 copters.
Got a Death Dread, haven't you?
I've got
Couple
Death
of Death Dreads.
Dread.
2 Death Dreads, haven't you?
Yeah, 2 Death Dreads. 4 killer cans. A mech gun. A battle wagon.
Nice.
I've got 4 trucks painted.
Fair.
That's what I mean. I'm prolific with vehicles. It takes
Yeah.
no time at all. Like that battle wagon.
Bikers as well. You've got bikers.
That big
haven't
battle
you?
wagon happened while I was doing the tank. It just was like, oh yeah, I might as well. And it's pretty much almost there. I was
Yeah.
like, Jesus, this battle wagon almost painted. But figures, no. I just take so much time to do my orcs. It might seem like I'm doing this one fast, but that's only because I've been on a roll just lately, so I'm sort of in the zone still.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I wouldn't usually be this hot.
I think mine's probably around... I mean, it wouldn't be legal, but I think nearing around sort of 2,500, I guess. But it wouldn't be legal because of like the way they've changed the lists and stuff.
Yeah. This is why we need troops, both of us.
Yeah, effectively, because I've got a lot of characters that are kind of useless without the units, you know. I've got quite a few characters in Mega Armour, and I haven't painted my Mega Knobs, so there's no one for them to join, and having the characters running around on their own, you're just not really getting that cost effectiveness out of them. I mean, they're still alright, but you know, part of the points cost is the fact that they're not just that they're good, but that they buff the unit they're with and make them better.
I suppose with a unit like Mega Knobs, if you've already got cans and dreads that are already sort of fulfilling those roles, then you're not in a mega rush to get your mega Knobs painted.
I mean, I am, because they fit thematically really well into my list and they're just perfect for it. If I'm honest with you, I'm just a bit scared of painting them.
Why?
I don't know, they just there's a lot going on there. Skin, armour, mechanical bit. The sort of Mega Knobs are sort of in that sort of halfway between an infantry and vehicle, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah,
you know?
hell yeah.
and there's just yeah.
I'll be honest, treat them more as a vehicle than as infantry, because it's more vehicle than it is.
Yeah, there's not
infantry.
a huge amount of skin
No.
on show, is there?
No.
Just their sort of head and neck.
There's
and their
more. There's
arms.
more skin on show around the back of the thing than there is around the front.
Yeah.
Because it's that surprising bit here that you completely almost can forget. Because if you go painting the thing like armour and metal, that bit is hidden around loads of other bits of armour, and you don't actually notice that is flesh both sides. I'm talking from bitter experience only recently. So I did the exact same thing. For metals, I know I've not got a brilliant example on this miniature at the moment, but I use a trilogy of silvers, and I think it's the same trilogy that Vince Venturella told me to use, I believe.
Right.
So I use Vallejo Game Air. I've got gunmetal being the darkest one. The middle one is chainmail silver, and then silver. And between those three, you can get like really nice shading and highlights on metal. I genuinely don't need any other paints for metal. I can just use those three. I just pick others out sometimes because that's a nice one for dirty metal or something. But then most of my other metals are ones that just go on with one coat, and then I might highlight with something else. But genuinely, if I'm doing a sword or anything like that, I'm going to use those three.
I pretty much just use 3 different ones. I've got weapon bronze that I use for all my sort of gold bits. Just that on its own, weapon bronze. Gunmetal, which is my main thing, and then I highlight it with the shining silver. I do have a few other metals that I use from time to time here and there for certain things, but essentially just those 3 colours across my whole faction.
They're army paint now.
I've very much restricted my colour palette, and do you know what?
I have too.
I'm actually very proud of my painting. I'm really pleased with how my miniatures look.
I would be too.
The thing is, I'm not using any advanced. My skin recipe is very basic.
Yeah.
All my things are very basic. It's generally one flat colour, a wash, and a little bit of a highlight on it, and that's essentially what I do for almost everything. But I just do it. I really try and do it neat and crisp, and so I just try and do a really tidy paint job, and then just make it unified across the army.
Well, I'm going to say something, right, that is not being said just to make you feel good, and it's not being said for the audience or anything. It's just genuinely the truth. There was a feeling I had the other night when you sat there with your tray of your miniatures, and I had my tray of my miniatures on my lap, and I noticed how all of your miniatures all have a certain look. And then I look over at my tray, and all of mine have got a certain look. And I suppose where I've done vehicles and stuff, I've never actually. That's the first time I've seen my force looking like an actual force.
Yeah.
And then I looked across at yours as well, and I was like, damn, neither one of these are better than the other. They're just 2 really nice looking forces, and I'm really happy that I'm in this situation where I'm here with a mate, and we've both got this army of little lads in front of us that we're really happy with, and they both represent us in a little way, and it's just it was just a really good feeling just to sort of take that in for a minute and go, this, and I can now I've got my own more painted, I can appreciate yours more, you know.
Yeah.
I think I do appreciate other people's more than that. I've got my own done, because it's not so.
Well, there's a great feeling of having your proudly, nicely presented army up against someone else's proudly
and
nicely
not look
presented
silly.
army, and for them to then meet on a nice battlefield with nicely painted terrain.
Yeah,
that's the sweet spot in it. That's what we all do it towards. So when you're doing that, it's hard. I think a lot of us who have been in the hobby for a long time, a lot of people who have essentially been at it for years and got thousands and thousands of points of painted stuff, can sometimes take that for granted. To get to that point, it's fucking hard. The expenditure and the time. I mean, for most people, to get from nothing to a fully painted army, say like the 2,000 points, which is like the standard these days.
Yeah. On a nicely laid out table. And
hundreds of pounds, years of painting and learning and stuff, like can be a long time. From the time you met, I'm going to do this hobby and I'm going to build a 2,000 point army.
I mean, don't get us wrong. You could just jump into Custodes and just boom, there you go.
I mean, even simple armies, even a Necron army or something simple to paint. It's good. It's even then, if you're going to do it well, it's going to take time.
So it should, though. If you're going to do anything well, it should take time. Otherwise, what's the point in doing it?
It does require patience and commitment and dedication, for sure.
Painful sounding words.
Yeah, but also rewarding. There's a reason people do that shit and push themselves in various ways. What comes at the end of it is usually worth it. It's that feeling of achievement and sort of pride, and that sort of, mostly anyway. Sometimes you can put it all in and go, oh, could have done better.
Yeah.
Generally my feeling most of the time.
Well,
there's very few of my stuff that I'm 100% happy with,
This is something, though, I think that is one of the things that I want to sort of overcome myself in this hobby or become better at and teach other people to be better at as well.
Allow some imperfections.
Exactly. I've always been too much of a perfectionist, that it held me back from getting things done. And you know what's worse than something not being perfect is not even having anything to start with. And I've got to tell myself that more often. Otherwise, I do end up trying to wait till the right time, get the right this, I better not use the best one of those, I'll just use this one for now, and I'll save that for when I'm better at this and I'm better at that. It's the
same anything, like making YouTube videos.
You can't take it with you, can you? So you might as well just get on with it. Enjoy your life, do the thing. Don't hold off until tomorrow. Tomorrow's never, tomorrow never comes, as they say.
If you try, when you make videos, if you were going for like perfection every time and stuff,
you'd never put anything out.
You wouldn't.
You put it up and you take it back down. I've got a friend like that, actually. I've got a friend that puts videos up all the time and then he takes them back down again. And it's like, oh, dude, I actually really like your stuff, but I'm fed up with telling you like how much I like your stuff and how much it's annoying that you keep taking it back down again. So you just eventually become
self-sabotage.
Yeah, and no one can tell you, and so you're just like, oh, that's what he does, and it becomes a sad story then. So if you're watching, stop doing it. You wouldn't have made it this far into the video anyway, I know you.
Well, we've been going for quite a while now, so I reckon it's time to
no way
bring this to an end. Because I don't know about you, but I am
not finished.
I think we could use a break, can't we? We'll go and get a brew and
Yeah.
have a break. We've done a bit. We should show what we've done, shouldn't we?
Definitely.
No. Oh, he's got a little ring on his... I thought it was a hair stuck to it. Has he got a little ring or is that a...
On where?
It is. Just... there.
Oh, it's on the side of the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I barely fucking noticed that, but yeah, I think that is.
Yeah,
It's
it
not,
is,
I
yeah.
thought it was a bit of flash for a minute
No,
as
it's
well.
not.
It is a little ring. That's cool. I like that little touch. That looked cool when it's painted.
Wonder
Annoying though. 'Cause
How
if
many
I-
people might have cut that off thinking it was a bit
Yeah, I
of
bet loads.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever noticed it before. And I've got that miniature.
Alright, cool. Well, so I got this far. So as you can see, he's got his...
Sorry.
See, you did it. My one just instantly unfocused out. We're going to do one at a time, and then it'll actually focus on him, hopefully. There you go. So yeah, as you can see, all the metals are done, and you can see the white on the helmet and the shoulder pads now. The skin is not done, but it's got the first layer. But yeah, all those white bits that you're seeing will be yellow, except for the horns, which will remain that colour. And then the body panels, I'm thinking, you know that sort of checkered look? I might sort of alternate black and yellow. Black and yellow across the different panels, maybe. Not
What is
100%
that?
yet.
3 across, are they?
Yeah. Oh, actually, no, I'm probably not actually, because his top's going to be black. So I'm going to have him mostly dressed in black, this guy.
You could do
So,
red, yellow, green.
I won't. I definitely won't.
He could be one of the lads
He'll
that
probably
joins
be
my
quite.
force.
This guy will probably be quite heavily yellow. Actually, he'll be black clothes, yellow armor for the most part. He's going to have some black flames on the shoulder pads as well, because I've done quite a few of them with checks on the shoulder pads, but I haven't done many flames. I think some flames will look quite cool on him. sort of sideways black flames on both shoulder pads coming in. I think it'll look cool.
I think
So.
after I leave, you're going to start waking up in the mornings and start noticing some of your boys have started dawning a little bit of red and a little bit of green along with their yellow, and you're like, what's going on, lads? What are you doing? What are you even playing at?
Oh,
that dread's been round
I
here.
should have started getting some paint on this guy at the same time, actually.
That is tidy. That's a bit too much of a challenge for you on a video paint.
I don't know. It'd be a bit more fun to paint, I think, because the banner I'm quite looking forward to painting.
You
that
wouldn't
banner.
want to rush that though.
No, but
well, this is what I've done so far.
there you go.
Well, my hand's pretty good at that. Yeah. So he's wrenched. Oh, Jesus, I shouldn't have moved it.
You see what I mean, people, about the skin? Look, I mean, it's looking.
I haven't put my skin wash over it yet, but yeah.
No, but it already looks really nice.
Yeah, and then I've done a little bit on the back too. So yeah, he's got basic colours.
Beautiful. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us in this sort of laid-back painting hobby chat. It's been quite nice doing this, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been cool.
Are we over? Oh, I thought we were just going to have a break and come back to it.
Productive. We've got a bit of painting done. We've chatted to you guys. I don't know what's coming up next week on the channel at the time of recording this, but I'm sure it'll be something good. So be sure to be there Sunday 9 o'clock UK time for the premiere. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe.
Definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to get yourselves together for some fun for some battles, some battle fun. Nothing. This isn't a dating website or anything like that. But yeah, get yourself in the community, meet up with some people, have some battles.
Yeah, it's not plenty of fish, is it?
No,
plenty of orcs.
Plenty of orcs. Yeah, we can call it poo.
I can see the light bulb in his head now.
Plenty of orcs. Poo. Yes, that is a brilliant new Facebook page. Plenty of orcs.
It's a new app, mate. New app. Find orc players in your area.
I imagine that just scrolling through different orc faces.
Yeah. And it'll be just like Plenty of Fish, because you'll just get loads of knob pics.
Yeah, exactly.
And on that note, guys,
you're gonna knock him over, aren't you, Mike? Again.
This is 6 Plus Stevo, signing out.
Enough said from Dread.
Right. You are like, you need to move.
Can't the screen move?
Not really. Not
Screen
much.
can't
No. So no. Hold up.
Well, that means I'm going to
So-
have to come over closer to you then.
Yeah, we want to. Otherwise, you're like barely off camera.
But that means you're going to have to sort of like deal with having to be a bit closer on that.
No, that's all right. That's all right. We want to be.
Right, let me get the greens. Just going to paint out what I'm going to use. You're stress inducing. Just give me a moment. I'll actually get out what I'm going to actually use and put away what I want. Those two, that one. That one. That one. Going to not use that one. Right, so just checking here what we need. Don't need that. That's the silver to go with the silvers. Silver, silver, silver. There's one. That's the brass with the decayed metal. Yeah, bomb. Yellow. Green. It's green. So one like that, white one, black one, white and black.
How many fucking paints are you thinking you're going to get done?
Quite a few. If I could have them out ready, I'm fine for it. So these ones are going back. I want the Iraqi sand, page white. Don't need the ivory. I might use that one. That's pretty good. Don't need rubber tyres. Don't need dark tracks. Don't need that one. Don't need those. That should be those.
Ready to start
Almost.
recording? When we are recording.
And then I'll just put the washers all over there so I'll just easily pick up one when I'm nearly done. I tend to like the contrasts.
We ready?